All I know is I got off the phone. Lisa says, "Who was that on the phone?" I said, "It was Omar." He goes, "You're not doing any of his harebrained schemes, are you?" like you're my Kramer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the FTS podcast, Friends Talking Shop, a podcast about the general nonsense in our lives and yours probably as well. Thanks for joining us. It's late March 2024. We're in the heart of...
I'd like to chime in for a second.
Yeah, of course.
We were supposed to start this thing
such a
on
roll.
the top of the hour sharp. And of course, we started 17 minutes past the top of the hour.
Tell why.
So I'm thinking, out of all the podcasts, there's so many podcasts that exist, right? Probably what, 5 million different podcasts?
5 million, give or take 5 million.
We're definitely in the top 4.8 million of the 5
no
million
question
out there, right? But I will say we're number one in one thing, at least top 1 percentile.
Go ahead.
The longest time between us trying to start the podcast and when we actually start recording.
I can't imagine there's anyone worse than us.
Yeah.
What's the average? Is it probably 23 minutes? It's probably something like that.
It's easily 23 minutes, if not worse at some point.
We're at 17 minutes today. This is a short.
Are there common culprits?
Yes. What do you want?
Well, you know what? Hold on. We'll let our listeners decide.
Let who decide?
Our listeners.
How are they going to decide? They don't hear it.
Oh, we've given it away.
All right, listen, you stepped all over Dave's intro for something that was completely pointless.
Yeah.
It's interesting. No, we're the best at something. We can finally say that we're the best at something.
Yes. You know what's funny is that you killed 17 minutes before the podcast, and now you're killing the first 4 of the podcast.
And I even prepped. I had my intro.
Yeah, he did.
Prepped.
He was rolling.
Okay, you know
he
what?
Was rolling.
You know what? Fine. I will be funny. I will no longer ever interrupt any of your intros from now until perpetuity.
Well, you can do it. You can do it if it's
our 63rd podcast.
You can do it if it's A material.
Okay.
Yeah, that was C minus.
All right. So C's are the new A's.
Let's start from the top.
C's get degrees. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
You were saying episode 66. I think you're about
okay. It's late March 2024, the height of March madness, and this is episode 66 that we're on. I am your host, Dave, sitting back in the saddle in St. Louis, finally, which is helpful for my recording equipment and everything else. And along with me, sitting to my right, is Josh. Josh, how you doing this week?
They don't know you're right, and when I put it on the video, sometimes I'm on your left.
I know. I want that to be my thing. So
yeah, I get it. Right. I'm doing all right. I had a little thing that bothered the hell out of me the other day. I wanted to see if you guys experienced the same thing.
Josh looked in the mirror again.
Yeah, that's funny. That was A material. That was a good interruption. Good chime in. I'm going to give you that one. I'll applaud that one. You know, a broken clock. Anyway. So I had a doctor's appointment, okay? And this is something I've complained about in the past of just dealing with people, and I'd rather deal with machines and kiosks and, touch screens like when you order food and all that stuff. So my doctor has a new system where it's a check-in on your phone, which is great. So it's no longer, and this was, by the way, it's a new doctor, so you don't have to fill out, they give you that clipboard, and then you got to sit there like an idiot and fill out all this stuff and remember all your family history and check off all these things. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this one was awesome. It came on my phone and said, you can pre-check in on your phone. And it was the same thing as the clipboard. And I'm like, this is great. It even went where I could scan in my insurance card, front and back, put that in there. And it was great. I'm like, good. I don't have to show up 15, 20 minutes early. I could just be there. They have all my stuff. This is wonderful. So I do the check-in. I go to my doctor's appointment the next day, and I said, okay, checking in, blah, blah, blah. I have an 11 o'clock. And she says, I would doctor or whatever. And she says, okay, do you have insurance? And I said, yeah, I have insurance. I sent it to you. I did the pre-check-in. She goes, oh, great. You did the pre-check-in. Then she's clicking away at her keyboard. And she goes, do you have your insurance card with you? I said, no, I don't have my insurance card with you because I did the pre-check-in. I scanned it in. She goes, we don't seem to have it.
Oh boy.
And we don't really have your medical history either. I'm like, what was the point? So she hands me a clipboard. Like,
oh no.
What was the point of all that? It's like It's the same thing like when you call customer service sometimes and they said like put in your account number and then push pound, and then you put in your account number, put in your date of birth and then push pound. You do that. And then you finally get a person and they go, "Who am I speaking with?" And you tell them, they go, "Okay, what's your date of birth? What's your account?"
I know.
I go, "What is the point of me putting it in? I don't understand this."
That bothers me too. I was going to use that exact example when you're talking about your doctor.
Right?
Is why, and I have said to them, I just gave you my account number. I just punched it in. And
Yes.
they're like, "Oh, you got to give it to me again."
It's almost like
But-
every time too. There's very few where a person will pick up and go, "Okay, hey, Mr. So-and-so, I see that you're a customer, blah, 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 blah." And they have all your stuff
Yeah.
from what you just keyed in. But it
Yeah, that's funny.
it never happens that way. That's
No, it's actually it's fascinating that it's like we are reading each other's minds. Are you reading my messages?
Are you being
or-
sarcastic, dude?
No, I'm not being sarcastic. My actual phenomenal topic is somewhat. It has a little bit of a crossover with this.
Really?
There's
In a much more
Okay.
interesting-
You know,
in a
that's
much more
not the first
interesting and
time.
exciting way.
Okay.
That's not the first time that's happened where our topics somewhat mesh. That's
Well,
really scary.
and just like every other time, mine actually will be more interesting
Well,
for the
We've
listeners.
been
Of course.
doing this so long, our cycles are synced, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's what's happened.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But here's the good news with this
Yeah.
is that when you think of like have we reached the peak of technology enhancing our lives? This is showing us there's still a long way to go, right? I mean, having the app
Yes.
is a great first step. Actually making it our lives easier is still in front of us.
Make
so
it work.
There's things to look forward to, right?
I mean, there's nothing
Mhm.
worse than going through the same rigmarole twice.
Yeah.
Twice. You want to make my life easier? Great. But don't pretend like it's easier, then hit me with the same exact thing again.
Yeah. How many times can you put down shingles
Yeah.
and put in the memory of that poor
It's so
poor
funny because
experience?
I had shingles. How long ago was shingles? A couple years ago? Something like that?
Yeah, episode.
You had shingles before shingles was cool.
That's correct. I made shingles cool. And I just re-listened to that episode, Dave, and it brought back all the pain. I just forgot how painful that really, really was.
That flight you took.
Yes, I took a flight with shingles, probably highly
Yeah.
contagious. Highly contagious.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm doing all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. And my other host, who's to my left, which is actually
Here you
even
go again.
true to the is Omar. Omar, how are you doing?
Yeah. This was the age before beauty introduction.
Do
you guys?
That's not true by definition.
It's all relative.
I'm
Josh.
still in my 40s, boys.
Well, it depends on how you're measuring.
By years lived.
Yeah. Like
I'm
like
not
most.
sure what that means anymore.
All right.
If you look at the ancient Druids, for example, they had different definitions of time,
Mm.
and I was born very close to leap year. So
Oh,
that.
that's
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're saying
Yeah,
that
you're
means-
you're 25% of the age that says on your driver's license?
I would say closer to 33.
All right.
33% less.
From that Jared
So do you guys,
Leto
how
diet.
often do you guys have full outrage that actually does? How often do you guys have full outrage about things?
Faux or full?
Faux and then that faux and FAUX.
Yeah, right. I rarely
Oh,
have
faux.
faux outrage. Rarely. I don't like faux outrage. It drives me nuts.
Yeah. I don't either
Yeah.
full or faux. I don't express anger very often.
So
wait.
I had an
Stop.
experience-
Stop. Dave, I've seen you angry a couple times.
When?
Yeah,
When
but
has
yeah,
David ever
well, a
been
couple
angry?
times means
Yeah.
it's infrequent, right?
That's true. That's exactly right.
Is
That's
it that
true.
one time you stepped on his toe? Like what happened? How does Dave get angry?
Dave is we talked about this a long time ago, but Dave has a loyalty to his friends, and when he sees something occur or happen to them in a negative way,
right.
he takes to their side, and he does so very aggressively.
Never
And
happened with me.
I've seen it
Pretty
twice.
sure.
It hasn't happened to you, Omar. That's true.
It's strangely confrontational, but
Yes.
the level of the point of no return is high.
Yes,
It's high.
that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say I was out the other night, which isn't often, in actually New York. I was in Sag Harbor.
Okay.
At this very, very beautiful bar.
By the way, Sag Harbor, for all
at-
those who are listening, is what modest people say when they really mean the Hamptons.
Yeah.
You were in the Hamptons.
Well, technically, it's not, it's technically not in the Hamptons.
yeah,
Number one.
it's the Hamptons.
But yeah, but fair.
Yeah.
So at any rate, I'm at this restaurant that's called Bilbo K, which is a fancy French, and they opened up this beautiful space that they took over. And it's one of those my favorite kinds of bars, the circular bars. You know, where you can see people on the other side of the bar drinking, wave at them.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, maybe send them a drink, whatever, roofie. Maybe not.
Jeez.
Sorry, going down the wrong
A
path.
roofie
Here.
colada?
So I'm there, and you know what I'm wearing.
Yeah,
I'm wearing
a
this.
hoodie.
Actually, you know what? I'm wearing this and my gray hoodie, which I had on. Actually, I'll put it back on again. This is what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Ski hat.
And
Again, it's a
and
podcast, so you're wearing a ski hat and a white
oh,
hoodie.
I'm sorry. I'm wearing a gray beanie.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Lou Miles doggy hoodie. That's what I always wear.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Lou necklace and my sunglasses.
Yep.
Right. So, and I'm with my friends, and then these two guys come to the bar, and I could see them, and they see us, right? And they're kind of looking at me a little bit, and then I notice one of the guys opens up his backpack, takes out a gray beanie, and then puts it on his head.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a
I'm
gun.
like, what the fuck is this?
Hold on. I thought you were going to say a gun or a knife,
didn't
and
know
I was
where you
like,
were
oh
going.
my God, where is this going? Go ahead.
No.
Okay.
I am yeah, and so I couldn't believe this. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm the guy with the beanie on in this place. There can't be two people
Yeah.
Can I ask?
with a beanie on. I was there first.
Omar, can I ask, was he Pakistani?
No.
A white dude, just a normal white dude?
Yes.
Ugh, that's a lot of nerve.
Yeah.
So
And
what did you do?
Appropriating your culture.
appropriating something even more precious to me, my style.
Yeah, your style.
I care about my culture. I don't have no culture. I was raised in America. I'm a coconut, dude. I'm a coconut. Brown on the outside, white on the inside. We all know this. We all know this, right?
Yes.
So, but at any rate, these guys, I mean, and so I got upset,
Oh God.
and I didn't do it, and eventually the guy stood down.
What do you
Oh.
mean
He
stood
took off.
down?
He took off the beanie.
Did you stare at him and give him a stink eye?
Well, they were staring at me. Actually, they might have been, on the other team, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Mm.
But-
All right. Well, that's flattering.
Yeah. Yeah, it is flattering. So but there was eye contact, and then the other, when you have these circular bars, these things happen. On the other side of the bar, our bartender was terrible,
Mm.
and I realized why. Whenever we went to the register, there was this one guy who was having a drink by himself, and he wouldn't stop talking to the bartender.
Mhm.
So the bartender was locked in; he couldn't really go anywhere else.
Hmm.
So I said, "Excuse me," because he was doing it again. This guy
Yeah.
talking to the bartender, and I said across the bar, "Excuse me, hi, I'm so sorry. I will buy you a drink if he can come get us a drink." He keeps on getting stuck whenever he goes to the register. I go, "You must be that charming." I said it like that.
Boy.
Mm.
Like,
I said it with a smile.
yeah, but
laughter.
it's passive aggressive.
Somebody needed to say something to this guy.
Passive aggressive.
He was like you, David. When you made the introductions, I knew you weren't going to do this. What does my screen say as my name?
Josh is a tyrant.
Josh is a tyrant.
Yeah.
That guy was a tyrant.
Mm.
Worse than
Tyrant
me?
of time.
Worse than me?
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you. You had to think about it too long.
Because there was more than two people at the bar. Dave and I take all the pain. So if you could do it for multiple people, he did it.
Yeah.
Trying to bottleneck. But one bartender, sit by the register, talk to them. Everybody at the bar's gonna eventually buy you a
Who are
drink,
you?
so stop talking
Who are you
about it.
blaming? Are you blaming the patron or the bartender?
Well, the one common thread between both these stories, they were both white males.
Yeah.
So besides blaming white males,
Yeah.
I would, which is, I think always my sweet spot.
Yeah. Of course. Did you tell them,
is
by the way? Did you inform the bartender that you were indeed a coconut?
That I what?
That you were a coconut, and that
No.
he should serve you as well because you're white on the inside.
No, I don't. I'm not Johnny Cochran here, Josh. I'm not going to play the race card. Whenever I
That
can.
was your line,
right?
not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that these are things, and I was outraged at both of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I took action in the second explicitly.
And how did it go?
And we got our. And I'll tell you something, Dave, Josh.
Yeah.
We got our drinks.
Feel-
Real
did you
fast.
feel good about
From
it?
that moment on, I do.
Did they give you any? Did they
the-
give you any lip afterwards? Any?
Other people at the bar gave me one of these.
They applauded you.
Yeah. Mm.
Wow.
Nice.
And excuse me, the audience, they cheered me.
They cheered you.
They faux
Yeah.
cheered me from across the bar.
Raised their glass to you. They raised their glass to you and
Mhm.
your efforts. That's got to
Yep.
feel good.
Yeah.
What do you-
Still went home alone, but whatever.
Yeah, that's all right. Good for you, though. Good for
Well,
you
that's
for
'cause you
standing
turned
up.
the guy in the beanie down.
That's right.
Yeah, that
So-
part of the story we kind of overlooked a little bit. The fact that no one else is allowed to wear a gray beanie other than you.
Okay. If you walk in a place and you have something like somebody has a Phillies hat on, like Josh is wearing a Phillies hat
Yeah.
on, and you walk in without a Phillies hat
Yeah.
on, and then you see the person wearing you openly acknowledge them being there, and then you take yours out and put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I
Okay,
at a
in that
Phillies game?
context. Yeah, right.
Let me ask you this,
No,
though.
you're at a bar.
Omar, let me reverse it for a second. Let's say you're wearing your uniform, right? Your white
Yes.
hoodie, gray beanie, and you're wearing
Yes.
it when you walk into a bar and you notice
Yes.
there's a guy at the bar and he's wearing the exact same gray beanie, but he's wearing it as you're walking into the bar. You notice it. Do you take yours
Yes.
off?
Yes, I probably do.
Wow.
And probably at some point, if I'm so inclined, I would go over to this person and ask them to take theirs off so I can put mine back on.
What?
Out of bounds.
There's no
Can't do
room
that.
in the bar for 2 gray beanies. Is that what you're telling me?
I tell you what there's always room for is interaction at the bar. And that's a funny way to talk to somebody, to meet someone.
Oh, so you're doing it to break the ice. You're not doing it.
Well, I mean, no, I'm doing it to create a memory.
Who's all right?
That's what we do here every day, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, listeners. Maybe 1 out of every 7
Yeah,
episodes.
we create memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. It's a good story.
Very good.
Weird,
Very
but a
good.
good story.
Is it a C minus?
No, it's an A for weirdness. I mean, it's
Ooh,
just
I
so
will- I will-
bizarre.
Okay, I've seen 2 A's now, Dave. This
Yeah,
is good.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
trending up.
almost
You're
in the honor
improving.
roll.
Yeah. All right. Well, now it's my turn.
Oh, yeah,
Someone
Dave, how
asked
are
me
you doing?
I-
How are you
Hey,
doing,
thank
Dave?
You. Thank you. I'm doing pretty good. This week I bought a new car. I'm pretty
Nice.
excited about.
Ooh.
I did.
Did you
and
pay extra to keep the new car smell? You know, that's one of the options now.
It is it?
Yeah, you can pay if you pay listen, everybody wants recurring revenue.
Right.
SaaS for our listeners is subscription
As a service.
what does it stand
As
for?
a service.
As a service.
Service.
Yeah, so this is the new subscription. Is you keep your car keeping that with that new car
yeah.
smell.
Dave, you know what's
Couldn't you-
hilarious?
no.
Do you know what's weird?
What's that?
I,
What?
I picked up a new car yesterday.
Did you really?
Yes.
Did you really?
Yeah, my
And,
lease was up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's so funny.
yeah, this was.
Are we on the same
this was
lease schedule?
yeah, everything is syncing.
We're
up here.
syncing up completely.
But mine didn't lease. I bought.
Okay.
I want to just be over with it. I don't like the subscription.
Oh, I like
if
that.
it's
I
if
like
it's
that.
subscriptions for streaming services, bring it on.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it feels like I'm getting more content with a fixed price. With the car, it's a single known thing. I just want to get that price off my hands and be
All
done
right.
with it. So,
Okay.
but my experience was this, and tell me what you guys would do. I tried very hard to negotiate.
It's one of my
prices.
favorite things is shopping for a new car. One of my favorite
I'm
things.
Terrible at it.
Oh,
I'm terrible at it.
I love
I
it.
go in, I prep myself to negotiate. I go in and I say, I'm just going to get a price. I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And I came very close to not leaving. This was weeks ago, but I did leave. And then sure enough, within hours, I'm getting texts like, "Hey, what can we do? What can we do?"
There you go.
But
Right.
they weren't budging when I was sitting at the desk. So they
Yeah.
must have a note from me from when I bought the last
Of
one. Like,
course.
just wait this sucker out.
Yeah.
'Cause he buys
Yeah.
wholesale.
This guy
but
will
then,
cave.
So we ended up doing negotiation by text more, and that was much easier for me.
Yes.
So I thought, but I was going to like call their dealerships, but I didn't end up doing
You
that.
can
because
do
they
that.
I
You
know.
play them
I know.
off one another.
I didn't do it this time.
That's the way to go.
I did get it down, and I kept trying to say, "Can you throw some extra things on?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And rather than bring the price down, they weren't budging. They weren't budging.
You couldn't get that
But finally-
undercoating?
No, I didn't get the undercoating. I did get massage seats in my car.
Whoa.
Yes, I will. That's.
That's pretty
I didn't
awesome.
know that was a thing.
That
but
is a thing
I drive
now.
a lot.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I drive to Wisconsin. I thought, ooh, getting a massage roller in your seat.
And
I
watch you
thought,
fall asleep and go right off the
I
road.
love those.
Yeah. Well, there's a camera that watches you that if you fall asleep, it'll pull itself over.
What?
Yes.
That's incredible.
This car is really something.
That's cool.
But anyway, my point of my story is I got to the very end and he said, "So you're going to finance how much are you going to finance?"
Yeah.
I said, "No, I'm not financing it."
Oh, you're walking away. Cash deal.
Yeah, it was a cash deal.
Look at you.
Yeah, really. That wasn't the point of my story.
Look at you
but
two high rollers.
Yeah.
Omar tells a story about how he's in the Hamptons, and then you pick it up with I'm buying a car with massage seats, cash deal.
Yeah, okay.
Keep
Anyway,
going.
so he says, "Oh, okay." So then he goes off and
Yeah.
he comes back and says, "Hey, here's the thing. because I thought you were financing it. It's going to be $1,000
more. Yeah, because
More.
the financing is a big win for them.
But here's the thing. We talked about this
Yeah.
weeks ago. I told him I was not going to finance. And now all of a sudden he's throwing this down. He's like, well, we were negotiating, whatever. And I was like, no, that's not true. And so we get to that moment of truth where I'm looking at it and it's just silent. He's sitting there saying nothing. I'm sitting there saying nothing. I literally know like the tactic is for him to wait for me to
someone's
say
got
something
to someone's
first,
got to
right?
fill the dead space.
Did you say something?
I said, yes. Well, what would you do? What would you guys do?
Okay, first of
I
all,
would say this is your
$1,000.
tactic
It's
is
like-
not to talk. Can we just sign this, please? I'd love to have this card.
this is what I say. This is what I do. First of all, it's one of my favorite things and one of my least favorite things all rolled in one. Because I love the negotiation part. But once you strike a deal, then it's like you're in a hostage situation. You can't go anywhere for like 2 hours while they do your paperwork,
Oh, that's
while they do your title check, and then it's a drag. It's awful. And then you're going and
It
eating
is.
the stale donuts just to pass time while they're doing all your paperwork and nonsense like that. I hate that. But here's what you do. First of all, I wonder if it's possible. I've never paid for a car cash up front, so that's the first thing. But I wonder if you could have said, "Okay, I'll finance it," and then your first bill comes and you pay the whole thing off.
Well, but that's
Can you
some
do that?
hassle, right? Maybe. And he
Yeah.
did say, well, you probably can finance just like a little bit of it. And he was giving me, I was like, this is where it comes down to like, it's just $1,000. Now I want the car
Yeah.
sitting right there, right? So I just want to get out of here and go to dinner.
Yeah.
So at the moment of truth, I looked up and I'm like, I said, can you do something about this? And then
Yeah.
silence. He goes, let me go see. He walks off. He's doing whatever. Comes back. He said, I took care of it.
There you go.
So
Good for
anyway.
you.
So anyway, that's my story, and got a new car, and
Congrats.
looking forward to it. Yep.
Yeah, nice. There's no better feeling than get a new car. I love that feeling.
It really is.
It's awesome.
Is that when you most feel like a man when you buy a car?
No, it's usually when I'm eating chicken in the tub. That's when I feel most manly.
That's a good question because there is a sense of
Good
like
question.
accomplishment with a new car or with there's house, car. There's very few things.
I
Yeah.
think like lighting a fire is one of those for me.
Oh, lighting
Yeah.
a fire, campfire. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. That's
That's a
a
good
definitely good one. And peeing it out.
I
Peeing
meant
it
like
out.
with those Everlogs you put in the fireplace.
Well, that's
but
really
whatever.
not the same.
Hey, it's all relative
That's
for
true.
me.
That's true.
All right, let's kick off the episode. We're got to be mindful of time.
Yeah.
Let's see. So let me throw out a few things for you to pay attention to if you want to reach out to us. We have an email address, and that is friends@fts.media. Please reach out and let us know what you're thinking or talk about the show. There's also this DaveJoshOmar@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Which we haven't gotten anything yet.
Yes!
We've gotten 0
You
emails
made me
yet.
so happy. I wasn't going to say anything.
I got it down.
We have 2 email addresses now, thanks to Omar.
We do
Yeah,
have
think about that. How many podcasts have 2 email addresses?
Very few.
That's something else we're number one
Yes, that's true. I'm not sure that's a proud
in.
number.
DaveJoshOmar@gmail.com. Thank you.
some things are differentiators for us. Some don't make sense. But,
Right.
We have a website, which is friendstalkingshop.weebly.com. And we're on YouTube. You can search for us on YouTube. And we are on Instagram and TikTok at Friends Talking Shop. Josh is doing a lot of good work on Instagram and TikTok.
Thank you.
So if you are not subscribing to us on Instagram and TikTok, there's some funny stuff on there.
A
So
lot
please
of
check.
extra content as we title it. Extra content.
That's right.
Clips from
Bonus.
old shows, short little bits. It's good stuff. Check it out.
Great stuff to share with your friends. All right, let's kick off the episode. Omar, you seem to be like hopping in your seat. Why don't you go first this week?
Oh, wow. This is a first.
Well, it's really not, but okay.
Not a first.
It's not a first.
So I had something that's been happening, going on for about 2 months or so now. So
Just put some ointment on it. Put some ointment on it, and it will gradually go away.
You guys have you guys are clearly like Windows users.
Yes,
You guys are like you're middle-aged, older white males.
that's right.
right.
That's right.
What's the
So
alternative?
Apple.
Mac.
Mac.
Apple.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
See, he doesn't even know the alternative.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
how old I am.
Exactly. So as you know,
Apple.
I
I should research that. Apple, you say?
Yeah.
What is this
Is it
apple
like
you
the
think
fruit?
of?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm very much a creative-esque type
Of
of
course.
person.
We all
right? At
know
least in
that.
some
We
ways.
all know that.
So people are always surprised, right? Like, oh, you're not a Mac person. I'm like, well, I'm a bit of a nonconformist. So, etc. Well, I'm getting, as some other people are too, obviously more acclimated to Mac type products. And I have a, one giant monitor that I use in here, which is the Windows. And then when I travel, though, I do use the Mac book, right? One of
Okay.
those laptops. And so I'm like, you want to know what? I'm going to maybe go fully over. So I'm like, I'm going to get a Mac large screen,
Okay.
the Apple monitor.
All right. Okay.
And then sort of plug my laptop in and go whenever I'm back home and whatever else and use it in general. So me being
Makes
me,
sense.
I'm like, what is the best Apple product? And it's called an HDR screen.
Okay.
It cost $6,000
For
They're
one
beautiful,
screen.
though.
just for the monitor.
Yeah,
Oh
just
my
for the monitor.
God.
They're a piece of
And
art.
it has like the highest like pixelization and like
That's more than the
blah,
that's
blah,
more than
blah,
the
blah.
computer.
Yeah,
But Josh,
yeah.
The
It
com-
is. It is the.
It's awesome.
It is a.
computer
It
is the
a,
screen. You want beautiful screens.
Yeah,
I
all
love
right.
screens.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the most beautiful screen you can get on the market.
Okay.
And it has like 32-inch Retina 6K display, 60
Oh, wow.
nits of brightness.
16 nits?
So
Nits,
jealous.
NITS, an astonishing 1,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio, and super wide viewing angle, and over 1 billion colors represented with exceptional accuracy.
Did they name all the colors?
They don't name all the
All
colors
billion?
here,
Yeah.
but it is something that is.
They have orange?
Provided. Orange is one of the colors. Yes.
Okay. Then
Oh,
they got
what's
it
the
all. They got it all.
Yeah, what are the chances?
Yeah, they got it all.
Yeah. So if you when you couple all these things together, it's a pretty badass monitor.
Sounds like it.
right? So I order it. Okay.
Yeah.
It takes 6 weeks to arrive.
Well, because you live in Puerto
Okay.
Rico too. You factoring that
Well,
part in?
yeah, that maybe costed another day or two, but it wasn't because of that.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. And so
Is it because of
at any rate,
of the kids in China that have to put it together by hand? It takes that long?
it had nothing to do with the kids in China per se.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that may have been related to
Yeah,
it.
it's possible.
I'm not
Let's
sure.
not think about that.
Yeah.
Let's not think about that.
Yeah. Let's not think about
All
that.
right. Okay.
So at any rate, so like as I'm saying, we actually get
Use your big boy words.
I get the monitor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I open it up, I throw away the box, right?
Yeah.
And a monitor comes and I'm like, where's the stand? There's no stand.
Are you kidding me? Dude, did you just open a second window? I mean,
Right.
this is for those who are listening, Omar has now opened a second window.
Wait.
We have two
Why did you do
Omars.
this?
I'm going to do it. It's unbelievable what happens with this recording. Even when we have it right, we don't have it
Why
right.
did you do that? You're in the
You
middle of your
don't.
story and you just opened a second
Because
window.
I couldn't find the window where I could see you guys again on my computer.
Don't touch anything. Once
right,
we're
should I touch
going, don't touch anything. Were you looking up how many nits? That's what you were doing? How many nits are in this?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Should I press rejoin studio?
No, don't touch anything.
No, you're fine.
You're
Don't
good.
touch
Don't touch a damn thing.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to talk. So at any rate, there's no stand. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So I go back to the website. The stand is extra. That also costs like $800.
Oh my God.
Okay. The stand comes in a week later.
Wait.
The stand.
Wait. Is it supposed to be mounted? Can it be mounted?
Yes.
Okay.
On a
Okay.
stand.
No. If you,
No,
in other
on the
words,
wall.
if you buy the monitor,
No.
there's
no.
no way for it to stand up without the stand.
Correct.
And you don't mount
Correct.
it to anything without the stand.
Correct.
So in
Correct.
other words, that's a big FU from Apple saying,
Correct.
here's your monitor.
Correct.
Oh, by the way, you
Correct.
can't use it.
Correct.
Well, they've been doing that
Absolutely.
with cords
Oh, that's
forever.
ridiculous.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Okay, and I order the stand, and the meanwhile I like put the monitor in a safe space with the cover still on it. I haven't plugged it in or
Yeah.
anything. Stand eventually comes again another week later,
Oh God.
right? I connect the monitor to the stand. The monitor doesn't work.
Wait.
I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I don't have the time, whoever wants to call customer support? No one ever.
No one.
Right? So I eventually call like a week later on like a Sunday
night. A week later? You waited a whole week?
Yeah.
No, I would do it right away. I wouldn't use that monitor.
And I talked to this woman who seems competent on the phone,
Yeah.
Apple representative.
Okay.
And I tell her the whole situation. And she goes, I'm like, can you send me a new monitors? I don't have a box anymore. And she goes, no, we don't do that. But we can send you a box. Okay. Where you can put the monitor into. Once you send it back to us, then we can send you another monitor.
Listen,
I'm like,
can I ask you a question?
I'm like, this is all crazy.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, wait, it gets better.
I know. Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Do you always do that with high-priced, high-ticketed items where you throw out the box right away before you even try it to see if it works?
It's a premium product.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
like getting like a bat from Louis Vuitton. I'm not going to return
a
it.
bag doesn't not work. That's different. I'm talking about something electronic. I never throw the box away until I test it.
Too.
Always.
Keep the box.
Always.
Yeah, my dad, by the way, does that at Costco because Costco has a lifetime guarantee.
So he keeps the box and returns it 5 years later.
After like 8 years. Yeah, I swear to God, and they give him a new one.
Good for him for bucking the system.
Yeah. My dad's brilliant.
Can't fault him.
So, okay, so she's like, okay, great. So I'm like, okay, if that's the way you guys do it, I guess that sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
That evening, I get an email from Apple about confirming a return. It's for the stand. It wasn't even for the monitor. She put the wrong information.
God, they messed up.
Not for the monitor.
Yeah.
And again, I'm traveling, whatever, life happens. I'm obviously a little frustrated to say the least. And I'm like, I can't even deal with this, right? So long story a little shorter, I call back 2 weeks later, okay? 2 weeks later, because I don't, whatever.
Yeah.
And I try and explain what happens. And they're like, we're so sorry, sir. We can, you need to return the item first. And I'm like, this is already taking way too long. Why can't you send me a new monitor? And he goes, well, we can't do that, but we can give you $150, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, listen, without going into too much more detail, I said to them, look, I am trying to convert to your product. I have my team uses Max. I'm trying to do it, and this has been a horrible
nightmare
customer experience. So bad that in fact I'm going to return it. I don't want.
You don't want it at all now.
Credit my account.
You want a full refund. You're done.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm done.
Wow.
I'm like, you've lost me as a customer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, now if I could talk to your manager, otherwise I'm exasperated. This is not working. This is not working for me. And he goes, well, do you want a refund? I go, yes, unless I can talk to someone who you work for. Again, I understand that you're doing a great job. They connect me with the person. Event takes half an hour. I'm on hold.
Of course.
The manager comes on, and she says to me, by the way, what I didn't go through is in that previous phone call, I walked through the entire previous iteration I had.
This is you're spot on, because when you ask,
this is what you
this is what I was referring to also. And the other aspect of this, and I'm glad you brought this up, is how many times do you call customer service and you say, listen, here's what happened, A, B, C, and D, I need this fixed. And they go, okay, I'm going to have to transfer you over to this department. And you do it, and then you got to do the story all over again.
Yep.
Right.
It's even worse
all over again.
when they make the introduction, they say, we filled so-and-so in on all the details.
And they never do.
Right.
And they never do. And Apple, they never did.
Yeah,
either.
of course not.
So I had to go through with this this woman all over again.
Oh my God.
And she was, well, first of all, we don't send out this empty boxes. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not calling here because of whatever reason.
Yeah.
Right. I'm calling here. Miles, stop it. I'm calling here because of, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I'm like, and I walked her through everything. She goes, well, we don't really do this. I'm like, well, that's fine. If you don't do it as a premium product, that's fine. I'm telling you, it's a mistake. I'm literally building, I'm a business builder, my Mac, I'm trying to be a customer and you're making it difficult. Yeah. This should never happen with Apple. I guess I'm going to stick with Dell or with HP or some other Chinese owned.
Right.
It was at least I'll get better service. Right. I can't believe that we're having this conversation. I feel like I'm being punked.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And she said to me, eventually she changed her mind. And she said, sir, we will send you a new monitor right now.
Good for you.
And please use that box to return the old one. And I got the new monitor today.
There you go.
And I'm like, wow, I actually
can I ask you a question?
Created a positive outcome.
You did. Can I ask you a question? Did they make you buy, did they charge you for a second monitor?
No.
Oh, they didn't even do that.
No.
Wow.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
Think about this. Yeah. I actually changed the course of history.
Well, let's not go that far.
Well, certainly my own history.
Well,
That's true.
yes, that is true. Steve Jobs is rolling in
Right?
his grave. Right
And
now.
Apple, and I would argue, wait,
Yeah.
Apple's customer service history. How many customers have been able to convert that with Apple? I would argue maybe 5 in the history of the entire
Now
firm.
you do know.
So
you,
you're
you
welcome.
do know that I have a similar accolade with customer service that I talked about prior with my cell phone service that I was sold a bag of goods that were completely
Right.
phone. And if you remember correctly, what ended up happening was I went to the local news to draw attention to it, and then they back down and they use my phone calls, the recordings from my phone calls, to train their employees about this. At least that's what
really
they told
impressive.
me.
How quickly did you go to the news, though?
It took a while. It was not right away. It was not right away
But
at all.
you, at some point along the story, you said, "I'm taking
Because
this to the
it
press."
was so egregious, Dave. It was so egregious. They literally told me if I switched to this cell phone, I was getting all new phones, by the way, too, for the family. I would have X, Y, and Z, and they would give me all these things, and I had it all recorded. It was all recorded. The woman told me all this stuff. Turned out none of it was true, and they were charging me like 4x the amount that I thought. And I'm like,
how long were you on this call for?
This was a series of calls.
Series of
calls.
It took me one phone call. David, do you see what's going on here? Josh, you always do this.
No. I'm just.
Like, this is my.
I'm drawing the parallel.
This is my time. This is my time.
This is your time. I apologize.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
He's just changing history.
I truly apologize. You've altered history as we know it.
So do you think that, do we have, I guess my question to you guys is, do we have, Josh, you've done it.
Yeah.
I wonder what percentage of our friends would be able to do that. I don't think very many.
You know what's funny, Omar, is that it's weird. As aggravating as it is, I kind of like doing it. I kind of like calling customer service and flexing a little on the other side of the phone and seeing if you can get what you rightfully deserve. I'm pretty good at it. I'm gonna put modesty aside here. I've had various successes with it.
That's because you don't have a muscle that gets uncomfortable when it gets uncomfortable.
Very true.
It's
yeah.
Right. You'll muscle through.
And I'm a dog on a bone. I'm not letting go.
Right. You got to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
but I mean, look, I had this speaker. I actually put it in my closet. This ridiculous, expensive speaker that costs like X amount, right? And it stopped working.
Oh my gosh! I bought that speaker, Omar. It's the one on the stand.
Yeah,
mine's not working either.
Oh my God! There you go. And by the way, I bought one for Tiedemann. Same thing, doesn't work.
What are you going to do about that?
I emailed them.
Yeah.
They took a month or two to respond. They asked for the serial number. I sent them the serial number. Nothing back.
Oh,
can you call? Are you going to call?
No. See, I draw the line there. I don't want to. I don't know why. Because I mean, I should, because I bought 2 of them.
Well, and I got one. So we got 3 of these speakers we got to fix because I used it one summer, left it over the winter.
David, send me the serial number of yours, and I'm gonna have someone from my team do it because it's ridiculous.
Right.
This is a conspiracy at this point.
Yeah,
boy, this is a good podcast. We're getting stuff.
Done. It's explosive.
We're like explosive. This is our Ralph Nader podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw your speaker. You said it was so good. It's as heavy as can be. This thing is. It's probably the worst.
It's basically a dumbbell, or we're dumbbells for buying it.
And you know what's true. You know what's amazing too, but now is that customer service numbers are not as easy to get anymore as they used to be. They used to be very prominent. If you're having a problem, call this number. Now they want you to send an email, and they don't even give you an email address. It's like one of those: fill out your name, fill out the subject, what's wrong, and fill out this in 250 words.
This is actually interesting, and I know we're short on time, but. I mean, I guess we can't bring this up, but it could be interesting how AI takes this when you actually talk to an AI bot and how that navigates stuff like that. Josh, you and I could typically, create gold out of sludge.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, let's more to come because I'm going to send you my serial number. Let's use the
podcast.
podcast.
We'll follow up on the speaker
as a investigative, report here.
Before we put a bow on this, Omar. So what did you do? Did you take the new? Are you going to try to use the new monitor that they send you?
Yeah, the new monitor just came in today.
Are you going to send back the old one and keep the new one?
No, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, keep it.
I'm going to keep it and sell it on eBay. No, I'm going to return it.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it work? Right. Does the new one work? Did you try it out?
I haven't opened it up yet.
Don't throw away the box.
Yeah. I would not throw away the box.
All right, okay.
Yeah. Good topic. Good topic. All right, Josh, how about you? What's your topic this week?
Yeah, so this one is very, very different than Omar's, but still involves trauma. So
Oh,
maybe you'll
the
appreciate it.
best kind.
So I go to this place once or twice a week called the Stretch Zone, and it's the place is great. My body's a mess, and I need I need expert stretching to kind of snap me out because I have bad back and a bad knee, whatever. It's all irrelevant.
Is it a subscription model, this place?
Yeah, so you can do it that way. You can do it a la carte where you go in and pay per session, or you can buy a bunch of sessions up front, which is what I did.
Yeah.
Which is what I
Okay.
did. And this is after going to chiropractors and all the other stuff. And I'm like, I got to try something new. And the Stretch Zone's been great. And the people there are awesome. And they have, I've kind of become friendly with them now that I've gone for
What does that mean?
quite a period of time. We're I know all of them first name. They, hey, Josh, when I walk in, we're not going out casually. This is just a very amicable situation when I walk into the place. It's very nice. It's actually makes the whole experience even that much better. And they started like a question of the week, that we kind of talked about together, and it's neat, and it facilitates all sorts of discussion while you're getting stretched, and it's pretty cool. But one of the questions of the week, I can't remember what it was, but it led to a discussion on like trauma in your life, right?
Goodness.
Yes, but no, in a not a comical way, but I guess
in a lighthearted way.
Yeah, in a lighthearted way. And
Okay.
I started to think about, because we were talking about like, did you have childhood trauma? And I thought, you know what? I started to really think about it. And I said, I actually just remembered a couple instances. And I'm just wondering, number one, we're all the same age. So one's a little bit more local to me, but still made national news. And I'm wondering if you guys remember it. But the first you'll definitely remember. So in 1986, I was in class. I remember being in class. I was 1986. I was 12 years old. And they were showing the teacher wheeled in a big TV. Remember those TVs that were on the AV stand, and they were the big tube TVs, and they plug it in. And we were going to watch the space shuttle launch of Krista McAuliffe, the first teacher in space. Do you remember this? The Space Shuttle Challenger?
Oh God. Are you really going to talk about this?
And for everyone who doesn't remember, we're all little kids in class. And we're watching. It's a very exciting space shuttle launch, and it's the first teacher ever in space. And the shuttle goes up, and then boom, it explodes, and they all died. And we were kind of like, "Oh my God, what has happened?" And you didn't really know what happened at first. And then the news came on, and I remember the teacher's like, "Oh geez," and like turned it off and
just turn it off.
Yeah, and wheeled it out. Not like we sat there and watched it for an hour, but it was like, wow, when you're that age. And you see that, really traumatic, right?
Yeah.
And then a year later, almost to the day, by the way, that was January 86, January 87, I'm sitting there. I'm 13 years old. I'm sitting there. My parents always watched the news, the local news. And I was in the room, and I remember it vividly. There was a press conference, and there was a state representative, a guy named Bud Dwyer. And Bud, do you remember, does that name ring a bell to either of you?
No.
So
Buck Wild?
No, Bud Dwyer. And he was a PA, Pennsylvania state representative. Are the police after you, Omar? Is that in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Is that in your neighborhood?
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear that?
Are you pumping that in?
Did they hear about the monitor? We hear it. You don't have to adjust anything on your mic. We hear it loud and clear.
Yeah, don't touch anything. Don't touch anything.
Bud Dwyer,
I can't.
Bud Dwyer was indicted, and he was going to go to prison, basically.
Buck Wild was going to go to prison. Okay, go on.
And it was a live news press conference. Live news. And he comes to the podium, and as he's going to the podium, he hands out these envelopes to a bunch of people in the room, right? Stands at the podium, takes out a brown paper bag, and then in the brown paper bag is a pistol. This is on live news. Puts it in his mouth. What is going on in your neighborhood? Puts it in his mouth.
It's good background.
He puts it in his mouth and pulls the trigger and blows his brains out on TV. Live TV. I'm 13 years old watching this.
What are we? I mean, this is. You have the worst topics. They're always so morbid or like involving poop.
I'm just trying to.
What is
I'm
this?
just trying to. First of all,
I mean, what, David? What is this fucking CSI? Yeah. Like, what are we doing here? Or that movie Saw?
This is the topic. I'm trying to explain something to you.
You're not very empathetic.
I'm trying to set it up.
Through his childhood trauma.
I'm trying to set it up, and I'm telling this to the people at the Stretch Zone. Some of them are like, "Oh yeah, I remember that," and others are like, "No, not." And what's funny, it's hilarious because there's 4 tables, and there's other people getting stretched as we're having this conversation. It was quite ridiculous. And then I thought, like, you know what? I really don't have much trauma from either event. Like, it doesn't seem to have affected me in a very, like, significant, lasting way, because I had to remember those, and I went, oh yeah, I remember those. Boy, those were awful incidents. But wouldn't those incidents, if you see those as a kid, wouldn't they just complete? Why am I not having some sort of something from that? Or what?
That's
what?
interesting.
Do you guys have anything like that? Do you remember the space shuttle? You remember? Did that affect you at all? That's what I'm trying to get at. Is anything like that in your childhood traumatically that affected you like that you still sticks to you to this day?
I remember I was in high school. You probably were too, Omar, when the space shuttle happened. And I remember it was announced. I was in accounting class, and it was announced over the speaker. Just want to let you all know.
No, I was in high school when OJ was
You were not in high school, because I was in college when that happened, and you're older than me.
Whatever.
Well, you were held back, though. You were held back several years, so it is possible you were in high school. What were you saying, Dave, before we interrupted you?
So it came across the speaker, and we were all like, oh my gosh. And my accounting teacher said the words. I'll never forget. He said, well, the first teacher in space just went kablooey.
That's what he said?
That's what he said, word for
Wow.
word. And we were all like,
what a word.
That I was the product of
Kablooey?
public education. Yep.
It's a great word.
Yeah. That's what he said.
That's ridiculous.
He was a genius. He took my trauma and made it fun. He turned it around.
And when you went home, did you go, hey, Mom and Dad, you hear about the kablooey?
Yeah. Like, go to your room.
Yeah,
that was the trauma. I got in trouble.
Was that guy fired? Did you not see that teacher anymore
I
after
don't
that?
remember. No, my high school, I don't think that he was probably one of our shining stars back in.
That's crazy.
My trauma was public high school.
Well, your trauma was gym class,
gym class. And
which we
my
learned
baseball
about.
coach had a small fungo bat that, and every once in a while he would literally do a cup check. So if you weren't wearing
With
a
a
cup,
fungo
he would
bat.
hit you. Yeah, he hit you, and so if you're wearing a cup, you're fine. That's trauma. That's trauma.
That's trauma. So that sticks with you more than that. Omar, do you got any childhood trauma that sticks with you to this day?
When you say sticks with you, like, what does that mean?
So in other words, here's what I'll equate it to. Like, I can really, I don't know what it says about me.
Because, like, when you ask me that and I think about, then I get to something fairly quickly, but it took me about,
Omar, this is
30
right,
seconds.
right. And I'm not saying it's something you think about all the time, but what I'm saying is it's something that affects you when you recall it. So in other words, I'll give you this example. There's one thing that really affects me when I recall it. And, outside of personal stuff, I'm talking just like in a general global sense. And that was like 9/11. When I rethink of 9/11 and where I was and how I felt, that still gets me to this day, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Why, when I watched a guy blow his head off on TV when I was an adolescent, does that not haunt my dreams?
Maybe because it went kablooey.
The space shuttle went kablooey, not Bud Dwyer's head. I saw it. I saw it happen live. I watched a guy shoot himself on live television, blow his brains out.
Were your parents conservative of the shows that you watched on TV?
Not really. My parents are pretty good about that.
I remember like people not being able to watch Three's Company, and I thought, really? I watched
that's
that's
crazy. Yeah.
Well, back in the day, that was kind of on cutting edge.
Well, my Amish friend Seamus never watched any of those shows.
Is that a
Seamus?
The Amish don't have TVs. Okay. That was a horrible.
But I think the fact that the medium that you saw through was TV, which you probably saw all kinds of violence on TV. So in your little brain,
this is different, Dave. This is not Schwarzenegger RoboCop violence. This was.
If you were there in person, I bet you would have had.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a real good differentiation. That's a good point.
Like your mind, you sort of disassociate reality because the medium is TV, right? It's like it happened. It's shocking, but move on because that's what you do with TV shows, right?
Well, 9/11 was on TV. I wasn't there, but maybe I was older and more mature. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, 9/11 is different because it wasn't just the event itself. It was like you knew everything's different now. Like I remember after 9/11 driving by a gas station, there was like a long line of cars thinking like, what is going on? Like my life is changing in front of me. And it was, so all of it was traumatic. Where those are isolated events.
I would just think that the Bud Dwyer shooting would replay in my head over and over like a nightmare, and it never did. I don't know.
I think it's because it's on TV or that you're a sociopath.
Yeah,
it's
one of the other. It's one of the other.
Yeah.
So listeners should know this is this is a very dynamic podcast, and one of our listeners I know who listens to us was just messaging me, and I just texted them. I'm in the middle of recording a podcast. Just for the record, on this episode, Josh's topic is the worst.
Why are you not? See, okay, so this is if you remember, there was a Justin B last week who wrote in about why you couldn't just control yourself and not eat while you were recording on the podcast.
Yes, I haven't eaten anything, by the way.
You haven't, but your phone is on and you're checking it, and you've gotten up 3 times.
I've eaten crow.
Yeah. You have eaten.
And any compassion you have for Josh's,
it's unbelievable.
upbringing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I love Josh.
I know
more than anyone
the
else.
feeling is mutual
on this podcast. We live in Philadelphia.
Wait,
outside of Philadelphia.
Your material today you're spot on today, Omar. I got to tell you, you started off very slow, and it's been a nice build up.
And by the way, as our YouTube listeners will see, I'm having a phenomenal hair day. I mean, top notch.
It's
like I look like I came back from where are they? Turkey.
Turkey.
You know, men fly to Turkey to get their hair
No,
done.
they don't.
I've never heard that. No.
Type in men Turkey airplane.
No,
everyone gets all their scalps cut off. And they have seeds put in their head.
I'm not falling.
It's a thing.
I'm not falling.
It's like 1/10 of the cost of like the U.S.
Men Turkey.
Swear to God, Turkey is the place men go to have hair plugs put in.
All right.
Okay.
So the air ride coming back from Turkey to the States, has all these
oh! I thought you meant haircut, like a hairstyle.
No, hair plugs.
Hair plugs.
No, my hair is very full today.
Yeah, that's the difference. But you don't have hair plugs.
No.
Mm.
That he would
No?
admit. Yeah.
No, I would not. I would admit that.
Okay.
You
I think you would. I
That's-
think you would. Too.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
So, Josh, do you feel? So, are you traumatized at all? Are you worried about not being traumatized? How should we settle?
It was
this
kind of like there's really nothing to
Josh having emotions.
I want to know if
if
there's something wrong with me that when I recalled those 2 stories at the stretch zone with those people, there was not an ounce of oh my God, and like a chill through my body, like recalling the Bud Dwyer shooting or the Kristen McAuliffe tragedy. Isn't that weird? I mean, it's not like it was awful. I remember like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. I remember definitely feeling something at the time, but I just think as a kid, you're very impressionable at those ages, and that some things carry with you. And 9/11 carries with me, but watching a guy blow his head off live on TV didn't, and I don't know why. That's all. That's all I'm bringing.
I think you could go either way. I could either say yes, there's something wrong with you, which I think 90% of listeners probably feel that way. But the other, you could take it positively, is that you're resilient. You're able to take trauma and kind of compartmentalize it and move on. That's not an unhealthy thing.
Thank you.
Or it could be incredibly unhealthy. I'm not quite sure which one it is, but
I don't know either.
I'm gonna say you're resilient. How about that?
I like it. All right. Good.
All right.
That's
How
all I
do
need
you
to
feel, Omar?
hear.
Is that fair?
Yes, and actually, it brings to mind something. And Josh is anything except for resilient. I agree.
All right. Good. So there.
Good. Well, this turned out well.
Therapy.
This turned out really well. I'm glad I brought it up.
This is a fantastic podcast. I'm going to get my speaker fixed. We have done some deep work on you, Josh. This is fantastic.
It's explosive. It's explosive.
Yes. Go to Instagram to see what.
Yes.
All right. Let me end up with my topic here.
All right. Bring us home, Dave.
I need some output. I actually need an answer for my topic this week.
All right. I like that.
So I've been asked to participate in a non-for-profit organization here in St. Louis.
Okay.
If they ever hear this podcast, I will soon be an ex-member of this organization, I'm sure. But they asked for my bio. And so I was like, yeah, here's my bio. They're like, no, I'm going to send you a form that kind of fills out so we can kind of craft your bio, because they have a certain amount of words they can use or whatever. So
okay,
put my bio together. And one of the questions was, what are your hobbies? So I said, okay, hobbies. Yeah. What are my hobbies? I do not know how to answer this question.
Did you put House of the Dragon first?
This is the problem. So number one hobby would probably be video games, right? That's if I'm really honest with myself.
Yeah.
Second is binge watching,
Yeah, you're going to answer
TV
like a 12-year-old boy.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
It's I read books. I suppose reading, I thought, but I wouldn't put. I guess I read some serious books. There's
wait, how many books do you read like a month?
I've really fallen behind. I would say I was averaging one a month,
Oh,
for
that's
a
pretty
while
good.
there.
That's pretty good.
I feel like the group I
Until
work.
when? Until this thing started?
Yes, until I got PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's the PS5 was created.
um, and so and I'm like, okay, I like to play sports, I guess, but I don't really play sports anymore. I like watching sports.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
I'm
you
a
put
Packer fan.
Coloring jigsaw puzzles?
No, I could put. I love
You
jigsaw
do like
puzzles. I could put
jigsaw
that.
puzzles, yeah.
And I have a podcast, which I also really don't know if I want to advertise in
Right.
front of this august assembly of people.
Yes. Yes.
So I have no idea what to put down.
Can I ask you a question? Can you
What?
tell us what the nonprofit does, or you're not at liberty to say that? Is it a very serious subject? Is it?
Yeah, it's sort of a leadership development organization.
Wait a second. Wait, are there non-serious nonprofits?
100%.
Otherwise, why else would you do a nonprofit?
Can I tell you something? The amount of nonprofits out there is obscene, and a lot of them are literally ridiculous. My buddy,
They're tax loopholes.
they are, and my friend,
It's like people who move to Puerto Rico.
I'm not making this up. My friend, this is a buddy from mine from college, and we were away on one of our college weekends. And he was talking about how he was asked by a guy that we all went to college with that we know, but he was friends with him and we kind of weren't. He said he wants me to be on his board of a foundation that he's building. And we're like, oh, really? What happened? Why is he doing that? Why is he starting this? And I'm not making this up. He said his son, when he was real young, like 4 years old, almost died drowning in a pool. And I'm like, and we all immediately went, oh God, that's awful. It's unbelievable. Then I sat and thought about it. I went, wait a second. You're having a foundation for kids who almost die drowning in a pool? That's really not a thing. I mean, he didn't die.
Statement?
He's fine. And I asked him, I'm like, is the kid all right? He goes, oh yeah, he's perfectly fine. Who starts a foundation for that? It's bizarre.
What does the foundation do?
What?
Build fences?
What does the
That's
foundation
what I want to
do?
know. I don't think he really knew at the time because it was like,
All right, you got to find out the name of this and bring it back.
it's
to the
hilarious.
podcast.
So when you talk about is the foundation serious or the nonprofit serious, believe me, that's a legitimate question.
The name of that foundation Josh was referring to was called Throw Your Kid in the Water.
You were on such a
.org.
streak.
.org.
You were on such a streak, and you turned into clunker there. It's all right. It happens. You have to shoot your shot.
That's
Thank you.
It got quantity and your workshop.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, so what do I say? What do I say for my hobbies?
You didn't answer my question. Can you tell
It's
us
a serious play. It's a very.
Is it health related? Is it
No, it's
okay?
It's
You
leadership.
know what? I have two words for you. Very easy.
What?
Other people.
My hobby is other people.
Other people's stories.
What do you mean?
Other
It's
people's problems.
empathic. It's like simple. It's incredibly powerful.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
My hobby is other people's
No,
stories.
that's a complete
I love
bullshit.
it.
Everyone's going to see through that. That is complete.
Yeah,
that is.
I can't get away with saying that.
Occam's razor, Josh. Occam's.
That's not
razor.
Occam's razor either. That's a. That's not even Occam's
That
Whatever.
makes sense
It's
either.
close.
That has nothing to do with
It's
Occam's
close.
razor.
Well, can you imagine? I put that down, and everyone's coming up and telling me their stories I don't care about.
You don't,
Like, I
want that. You don't want that.
Yeah.
That's what life is. Isn't that what we all do all
Here's
day?
what
Yeah,
you
that's
do,
it.
Dave. Here's what you do.
All right.
Here's the good news. The good news is no one fact checks hobbies. They fact check where you went to school. They fact check your degree. They fact check where you worked. You can't fact check hobbies.
Yeah, but what if I put skiing down and someone's like, "Hey"?
No, don't put skiing down.
Oh, okay.
Put down.
Yeah,
put down.
I got to put something I can't.
Put down volleyball.
Well, I can't put down volleyball.
Why?
That's like
You like volleyball.
well, one. It's not a current hobby. I'm not playing anymore because I'm too old.
That's
and
true. Put down reading. No one's going to do anything with
okay,
reading.
so reading.
There you
I'll
go.
put down reading.
Put down reading. Put down technology. That's pretty broad and ambiguous,
Technology.
and
Yeah.
it sounds adult. You need adult stuff to put on there. The problem is a lot
Yeah.
of your hobbies are that of a 12 to 13-year-old boy.
Well, I love it. That's why they're hobbies. Why
listen,
does anyone want to?
I have
and
the
don't
same
have,
hobbies.
Yeah,
So,
but I don't have woodworking or I guess I
Woodworking.
could put travel. I put travel.
travel. There you go. Travel.
Just reading, travel, spending time with family.
That's
but,
not a hobby.
Yeah, that's a
You're required to
requirement.
do that by law.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a
Go
good
ahead.
one. Suffering fools.
You know, when I thought you were knocked down, Omar, you bounced right back up. I thought you were down for the count. And here you go, and you bounce right back up. Same confidence.
Suffering fools
Well done.
would be a great
Suffering
hobby.
fools. I think that, by the way, would be hilarious to put down.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be hilarious. Suffering fools.
Putting up.
It's very rare when I get Dave to laugh.
How
very
about
rare.
how about busting other people's chops like the article said?
Yeah, that's right. Dave, why don't you put down movies? That's a good one. You watch a lot of movies. Everybody likes movies.
Well, that's an accurate one.
Right, and it's accurate.
Yeah.
Put down movies.
So I got reading, travel, technology, and movies.
Yeah, great. I love it. No one's going to question it. They don't.
Maybe the
Listen, they ask you this question not to see if you fit in or to see if your hobbies are commiserate with theirs.
I have a good one.
They ask you the hobbies question to make sure that you don't put down like bestiality or something like where they don't want. I don't want you. This is no good. That's why they ask you that.
Yeah, it's fair.
Right?
I have another idea. Intentionally. This is a Wisconsin base.
No.
Where are they based?
St. Louis.
Same thing.
Oh.
Midwest. What is that going to change your answer?
Intent. Yes. I'm going to still say the answer I was going to have. Intentionally watching Aaron Rodgers' continued demise.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's a funny one.
Yeah,
if I put down suffering fools, intensely watching,
you're not getting
Aaron Rodgers' demise,
you're not getting the role.
And Red Dead Redemption 2, like that I get away with that.
That's amazing.
You are not going to.
I'd be the most interesting person on the board.
You would be yes. You've become the Dos Equis man as soon as you put that down.
I do think though that you can if this is something that's you really want and it's other people are applying for, this will be a way to really
differentiate,
stand out in a good way.
Yeah, right. Right.
I'm going to disagree with that. This is a situation where they're asking you that to get rid of the weirdos. That's all this is. You're not impressing them with your hobbies. Fair. This is
stay on the fairway. Stay on the fairway.
Stay on the fairway. This is to weed out the weirdos. That's what this is for.
Right. Yep.
Yes.
Travel, reading, technology, movies.
Right.
Thank you. That's what I'm
Done.
going with.
And those are very innocuous and adult things to do.
I can defend those.
And you can defend all of them. Exactly.
Right.
See, there you go.
I should put suffering fools at the back of it though. That would be
yeah, that's a big roll of the dice there.
These people will know where I stand.
Suffering fools.
Reading,
trending.
travel.
Another word. Trending. How about this? Trending toward mediocrity.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if you went in for an interview, like a real thing, and you put that on your resume, and they'd be like, "So I see you like suffering fools. Can you talk a little bit about that?"
I know it's a hobby,
right?
You didn't say I like it.
Well, you like doing it. If hobbies are things you like doing. You like suffering fools.
If I put reverting to the mean and just leave that out there, that could go lots of ways, right?
You know what you should do? I got it. Just put down hobbies. Write the word hobbies.
Hobbies. Other hobbies.
Other hobbies.
I like enjoying my hobbies. Yeah, that's how I'll put down.
I enjoy hobbies. That's my main hobby.
How about hobby horses?
Hobby horses. Yeah,
I could put that.
I make hobby horses.
All right. I think let's end this on a high note. Right, I like the suffering fools. That's good.
That is good. That is very good.
So let's wrap it up for this week. On behalf of the FTS crew, I want to thank you so much for listening to the show. Reach out to us again at friends@fts.media or YouTube or at Friends Talking Shop on Instagram, TikTok. Reach out to us and comment. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
So until next time, see you later, everybody.
See ya.
Smile you later.